here with a very special guest, uh, Baltazar Gonzalez. We call him Jojo. Um, he has an extensive wrestling background. I'm going to give him the opportunity to give you insight into his wrestling background and accolades.
I've been wrestling since I was 4 years old. I finished my career at AIC, American International College in Springfield, with the record of 122-20. I'm a 3-time All-American, 3-time regional champ, and 1-time national finalist. And I'm making the transition from being an athlete to coaching, as well as pursuing a mixed martial arts career. My dad was really into contact sports when he was a kid, and I played a lot. I played football and soccer, and nothing really just stuck to me more than wrestling. So I was good at it, and my dad and my dad, I feel created a bond with us that just felt like nothing other, I was nothing connected to. I think that was my main strive in the beginning at wrestling, and I realized in high school I started to get good at it, and then it just took off from there.
With all the activities that you engaged in across the different sports, what made you take to wrestling?
The lack of is independency. The sport is very independent, regardless if it's a team. If you go in team score, dual meets, it's still very independent. It relies on you and only you, and there's no sense of pointing the finger or anything. You take the blame and full responsibility for it. So I really stuck out to me a lot. So I started wrestling at a small club in Willimantic called Silverback Wrestling. The club was actually at my future middle school when I was in elementary school. So I went to middle school. Then we moved it to a Kramer building in a cafeteria area. And then we finally got our own space at the Kramer building. They made a place for us. My dad helped build and stuff, and the coaches. And then we eventually just made a YMCA kind of thing in our town, and they gave us a facility. It was probably it's $1.1 million or something like that.
Nice.
So it's it's very nice room. I've been in there. I've really got wrestling because it just, I wasn't the biggest. I was never the fastest or the most athletic kid. So when I realized what wrestling was really about, when I was starting to get more into the competition side of it, because when you're a kid you don't really see it like that. You just see going hang out with your friends and doing something that all your friends do. When I saw the competition side of it, I know that majority of winning and having to do with being successful in the sport is hard work, and I knew that I could be better than anybody else at that, and that's what really kept driving me. Like I said, my dad was a very big advocate in that. I mean, when I was at home, he'd always make sure I'd go outside before I even played or touched any video games or type of technology. He always took me on runs with him, even when I didn't want to. He made sure that I did it, because I wasn't a chubby kid, but I was chubby when I was younger. So he always made sure that I was always active, always doing something, whether it was just playing catch outside or running. And I was in 6, 7 years old, running 4 or 5 miles with my dad, and in the middle of the summer, while the kids are at home sitting down outside and stuff like that. So that's what really got me into wrestling, the hard work behind it.
What was the biggest takeaway from your wrestling background, from training in wrestling and hitting the competition scene and winning all the things that you won, losing some of the things that you lost? What was the biggest takeaway?
Sacrifice. I mean, sacrifice was the biggest takeaway out of all those things. To do everything that you just said, you have to sacrifice something in order to get to winning. Or when I went to Mongolia and wrestled out there with their Olympic team, and then we had a tournament out there as well. It was just I sacrificed a month and a half of my summer to go out there, you know, instead of me being a college kid and just partying with my friends, you know, that. And then like when I was in high school, Fridays and Saturdays, Fridays I was training, and then Saturdays I had competitions every single weekend. So I lost a lot of like having fun and, you know, childhood, but at the end of the day, I would never I never regretted that. It was very, very like something that I wanted to do and proceed and be really good at. I'm coaching at Springfield College, so I hope to like pursue something maybe farther down the line of coaching a team, or either whether it's high school or college. Right now, I do want to fight. Like that's something that I'm really been going at for the past half of a year. I've been really just like into just wanting to get, you know, be in that mixed martial arts area.
Mixed martial arts, okay. I know you study at FAA, Fighting Arts Academy, probably the best academy around at what they do. There's no other better camp to be with.
Move out. That's dumb. Circle out. Next, why do you want to move out? 20 seconds.
Circle out.
That's not you. You have 15 seconds. 15 seconds. I just go back together out. One time. Well, you know what? Then they can both take those shots.
1, 2, 1.
Oh. Time.
What have you experienced there that is going to help you?
Just the change of pace, and just like wrestling, you're always like go, and in this sense of a different area, you're just like you have to slow things down, wait for things to happen, can't rush certain things, otherwise, you know, there's major consequences. Whether in wrestling, I could come back from a 6-0 lead and not be scared, but and get kicked in the face if you make a wrong move, you know, you can't come back that if you're sleeping. So stuff like that.
How has Jeremy helped focus you in that direction towards your goal of MMA?
We were working. He works with me day in, day out. Like when I go my Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, sometimes is in the morning. We do an 8 a.m. It's just an hour of me and him working on specific areas that I need to, you know, work at. And a lot of that has been slowing down my pace, slowing down my movements, setting up my kicks to get to my punches, to get to my takedowns. You know, using, you know, he says I have a lot of athletic ability, but sometimes that's a bad thing because I rush stuff. So just kind of playing with that happy medium of learning when not to do something and when to do something.
I know you have a great team there. You have a wealth of knowledge in that whole camp, and a lot of people there. Who are your main training partners there, or is it just a big mix?
It's a big mix. I feel like I try to go with everybody because everybody gives me a different read, whether they're tall and strong, or they're tall and fast, or they're short and fast, or short and strong, or their jiu-jitsu game's way better than mine, or their striking is way better than mine. So I try to go with everybody. The main person that like holds pads for me is either Chad Dakin or Maddie O'Shea. She holds pads for me too, but I try to go with everybody. That's a tough one. I never thought of it. I think it's gonna sound crazy, but John Jones.
Why would that sound crazy? I agree. He's a savage.
He's a savage. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of him. That's why.
Those are people who live in glass houses trying to throw stones. Yeah. You know what I mean? We all have issues that we can definitely improve on as individuals, but his martial acumen, I agree with you. He's probably one of the most elite, you know. But what is it about him that you like?
Just his ferociousness and his his competitiveness mixed with his calmness. Like when he fought Daniel Cormier and all those other top contenders, you know, obviously, you know, the dogfight, especially with those guys that are, you know, close to that level, he just kept calm and just went to his game plan regardless on what was happening. He kept going, and his wrestling is phenomenal as well. Like I thought, for just not like having a really crazy wrestling background, I thought he has a phenomenal aspect of wrestling. Oh, within MMA, like the striking jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, whatever.
I think it's definitely, it's got to be the jiu-jitsu. Like the transition from wrestling, and like I was never comfortable being on my back. I'd always, you know, like be antsy. But now I feel more comfortable. Like I sit there, I'm patient. Like I'm not scrambling around. You know, I'm very calm, trying to go to a triangle or to my arm bars or pass guard or stuff like that. So that was I think jiu-jitsu has been my favorite so far.
When you're playing your jiu-jitsu from your back, is it more geared towards like traditional jiu-jitsu or like the hybrid systems like 10th Planet or things like that?
I think it's like more like 10th Planet and stuff like that. But also we've been like working, because I'm trying to find a fight, so working more to the MMA style of jiu-jitsu, like making sure that I'm not in a predicament where I'm getting elbowed or punched in the face. So I'm like like more basic jiu-jitsu, I would say.
Well, that's what 10th Planet was designed for. 10th Planet was designed for MMA and self-defense. That's why he developed the system, and it's based around clinches.
Hello, my name is Eddie Bravo, founder of 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, a global martial arts association with headquarters based in downtown Los Angeles. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or BJJ, is the fastest growing martial art in the world today. 20 years ago, it only existed in Brazil, but now tens of thousands of BJJ academies are thriving all over the planet. So what makes 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu so different? Well, I've taken the science and the concepts of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and infused it with a little evolution. I started by removing the traditional Japanese uniform known as the gi. I did this to focus on developing a jiu-jitsu style based on clinching your opponent rather than yanking and pulling on your opponent's gi, which I feel was taking the art into an unrealistic tug-of-war dimension. This makes the art of jiu-jitsu more effective when strikes are involved, making it better in street and MMA situations, the ultimate testing grounds for all martial arts. And this was my mission from day one, to evolve Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu into the ultimate offensive and defensive style all in one. And after 10 years in the lab, the 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu Association has morphed into just that, a dynamic, highly offensive, no-gi jiu-jitsu system based almost entirely on clinches. The 10th Planet system was first exposed to the world after I submitted the BJJ icon Royler Gracie at the ADCC World Championships in 2003. Since then, the 10th Planet Association has spread all over the globe, currently in over 50 cities worldwide, including Australia, England, Canada, Europe, Latin America, Asia, and all over the US. And if you have zero martial arts experience, you're gonna love the fact that every 10th Planet Academy is synced daily to the 10th Planet headquarters beginner's curriculum I personally developed to ensure that every single newbie worldwide is guided along slowly, safely, and thoroughly through the basics of the 10th Planet system. My name is Eddie Bravo, and I invite you to come to one of our locations around the world and learn this unique system of martial arts where size and strength are overcome by science.
My feeling, I was so comfortable in wrestling, I wouldn't get as nervous. But before my first match, my jiu-jitsu match, I was actually like wicked nervous. So that was one of them. The period length is way longer.
What do you mean, time?
Time-wise, so like you get two. It's the first period in wrestling is 3-2-2. And then now they just made the new rule, overtime, which is on your feet again, takedown wins, is 2 minutes. So that's a lot different, like the time. But then like when we went to jiu-jitsu, it was an 8-minute straight 1 period match. And I was like, oh, this is a lot different. Like, so you have to like play with your pace a lot more than just going 24, like foot on the gas. So that was it. You know, but the sitting to your butt and just sitting there and waiting, the waiting game, that one was really new to me in comparison. Like, you'll have defensive wrestlers like that don't shoot, but they're still active with their hands. Not really. I was more of a Henry Cejudo guy.
Okay.
I read all his books. I loved his books.
Yeah. What do you like about him? A lot of people don't like him.
I don't like him now. I don't want to say I don't like him now. I don't like him as much as I used to like him. And the fact is, he's trying to be too much of what he's not. And when I used to read about how the grit, him being humble, him being not being how he is now. You know how he is now. Like he's trying to be an entertainer when he should just be a performer. That's what a lot of people liked about him, and always were like on his side when he won his belt, was because he was a performer. He wasn't really just a talker. He was more of I'm a doer. I'm gonna do this. This is how it's gonna be. You're not gonna stop me. That's why I liked him so much.
Well, he also recognized, just like Kobe Covington, that you have to entertain in order to succeed in that business, because you could be the best, you could be winning all your matches, but not entertain, and then they'll cut you from the roster because you're not entertaining. Where McGregor, he loses, but he's so entertaining that he brings in millions of dollars. So they keep him on the roster. No matter if he keeps losing, he doesn't show up to obligations, all this stuff. It's a business. So what type of persona, when you get in the ring, are you going to give off?
I don't know. I'm just going to kind of go with the flow. If I obviously I won't let somebody talk down. I will say something back, but I'll just strictly the business, win in the octagon, and
Is it your goal to go UFC?
Yeah, as far as I can.
Are you looking to eventually open your own school and or camp?
I wouldn't like to open my own place, but I would like to open up or be a part of something that's already established. Like JR's, I like to run a wrestling team out of there. That's what I would like to do.
That's interesting that you say that. Why is it? Why lean more towards being involved in something already established as opposed to opening your own association?
I'm giving back, being able to give back to somebody that's been giving me so much throughout the years. Being able to, create the next generation out of somewhere where I started from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty different. It's unique in the sense that a lot of people like to just take the praise and just be the be all on their own. And you saying that speaks volumes about your, it adds to your whole success, and how it was a family thing that got you there, and you're continuing that with wanting to do that. That's big. I like that. That's interesting.
That's how my club was ran. It was just volunteers, like my dad and my Uncle Raph and a bunch of other, kind of alum that started it at first, just stayed, and they don't get paid. They come after their work hours. They come teach kids. For all the kids had to do was pay their membership for the USA card, so they could travel and do tournaments and stuff, like an insurance policy. That was for everybody, and then that's pretty much it. And then they taught for free, and then if we ever needed money, we'd fundraise or find other ideas. Like, there's this kind of one of the CEOs at Mohegan the Sun, John Ware. He he's actually helped us with a lot of our fundraising and helping the tech side and tech savvy with that.
Oh,
So if you know, like you said, like a lot of people are like, oh, I got a belt, now I can go open up a gym. It shouldn't be like that. It should be, I got a belt, let me go back to my gym and make something more of my gym and give to the people that I work side by side with, their kids and that generation. Maybe I can get another person at the same place that I'm at.
Yeah, that's commendable. I've been in this fraternity a long time. I call the martial sciences or the fight game, it's such a isolated community, a small community within this world. We call it a fraternity. There's no fraternity I'd more rather belong to than this fraternity. Meeting you in a time when generations are so split, just to see a young man with such work ethic, phenomenal.
Thank you.
And just a great personality, great family, just the whole dynamic. Highly impressed with that. And I know you will succeed in whatever you do because of your family dynamic and the camp that you fell into with Juan Benito and Jeremy and all the great guys over there. And like I said, I've said it since I met Jeremy. And I met Jeremy when he was young. He's the best around there, what he does, you know, and you falling in there is just a good thing. And it will contribute heavily to what you've already established through your father, who was a genius because of what he created, as well as your mom, the backbone of what y'all do. Highly impressive.
Thank you.
Tell the people where they can follow your journey.
My Instagram handle is Puerto Rican Stallion. Facebook is Joel Gonzalez. Or if you could follow it on the FAA page, Fighting Arts Academy on Instagram. Or Jeremy Limbowski on Facebook.
Nice. Again, it's very important you follow this young man's journey. He has a lot to offer. He's achieved a lot in his short life, and it's going to continue on. Bigger and better things. I guarantee it. I'll stake my life and reputation on it. Thank you.
Thank you.